What's up, Creamers?
Creamer.
It's me, No. Actually, it's me, your co-host, sammydaddy. And, I've been actually thinking about some shit. About the Army and Navy. What if tomorrow is the day that the fucking aliens come and invaded our nation? Like, would we be able to fuck with their shit? Like, do we have the type of weaponry to fuck with their ships? Or not at all? Like, would they just walk up in this motherfucker laughing at us and blasting us and making everybody disintegrate and assimilate without a hint of intimidation? Or could we do some shit to be making their heart race? Granted, I don't know the alien heart, but you get what the fuck I'm saying. Like, what the fuck would it be like? Would they be like Earth Go Hard? Or is it just another conquest? Or would they be like, damn, Earth Go Hard? They was harder than the simian. And I'm going to talk to Turkey, like Ted Turner, about some professional wrestling.
And I like gorillas, too, and bonobos. I think it'd be a real shame if we killed them.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute.
I'm answering your questions in the first ever edition of Creamy Bag of Q's. You should stick to those sit-ups too, bro. You're not exactly the leanest. Forget seeing me, bro. You can't see your own John Cena quote of the week. What's my match count for 2025, the year of our lives? And I leave a secret track amount of time of room for cream. All that on this episode of WrestleCream. Creamers. It's me, by myself. Hot Joe's on the road. If you haven't been listening or catching up or caught on by the intro, it's just me, by myself. So we're going to see how this goes. And it's going to go real well. What's that? Did I watch any wrestling this week? I watched a little bit. It was a very busy week, and I'll get to that in a moment. The only wrestling I watched was Monday Night Raw. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did last week, but I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed it the weeks previous to last week. If that makes sense. It was John Cena's last Monday Night Raw. I'll get into that later, because as anybody that's been listening knows, I'm a sucker for this whole John Cena thing. The rest of the show is fine. It's set up War Games and Survivor Series. John Cena's going to fight Dominic Mysterio again. Dream match times 2. Once in a lifetime again. They set up War Games, Survivor Series, whatever. It's whatever. I'll watch it, but whatever. I know Blood and Guts happened, and I wanted to watch it, but then I just didn't, and I saw all the blood and all the guts on the internet, so I felt like I didn't need to. And the other reason I didn't really watch a lot of wrestling is it was just a busy week. I had to do more work than I normally do for my side hustle, because this being my main job and form of income. The other job needed a little bit more help, though, but it worked out really well. Because while doing that, I got to meet somebody that we've talked about on this show before, and somebody that I know has listened and is listening, Mr. WRESTLEWRUGS, the owner and proprietor of that business, Matt. I got to finally meet. I've talked briefly online to him, but I got to meet him, and he's even better in person. So it was a week full of creaming with creamers. But WrestleRugs, find him on Instagram. It's Wrestle and Rugs, both with W's. You'll figure it out. But I would say get in there sooner than later, because he's making a Rhea Ripley rug that Rhea Ripley saw and put out there. So he's going to blow up, and he's going to be able to charge $1 million a rug because of the quality and the amount of people that want to get it. So you better get in there fast and get one. And also, at another event, it was an exclusive VIP thing that only certain people could get into, and I got into it. I got to meet the boys from Dead or Alive, Johnny Arson and Jay Ripper, my new in real life friends. They were internet friends, but now they're in real life friends. And officially, let me take a drink because this is hard for me to say. With Hot Joe on the road and out of state, I'll give you an update on that in a little bit. With Hot Joe making the move to Portland and on his way there, Dead or Alive is now the official best and brightest duo in Cleveland, Ohio, the city that I live in. You can see I've added some things. Well, re-added some things behind me that used to be at the other place, but now they're at this place because this is now the official Cleveland headquarters of Cream. Cleveland Creamers. What we do around here. But this episode isn't really about me or Hot Joe. This episode's about you guys. Because we're going to, for the first time of hopefully many, many times, I'm going to answer questions by myself. It would be nice if I had a partner here, because some of these questions I could probably use a little help answering. But we're going to try it. And if this works, we'll keep doing it. And if it doesn't, we won't. It's that easy. We kind of just make it up. So on social media, on Instagram, I put out some posts and some stories and stuff saying that we were going to be doing this week. And I got... That's how you know it was a lot, because of the noises I'm making.
I can't wait.
Let me see.
To get my mouth on this one.
Oh, my goodness. Like 15 questions. I thought it'd be a short episode because I'm by myself. And I wouldn't keep interrupting Hot Joe and stuff, but maybe not. But please, I mean, just send your questions whenever you want. You can send them to sammydaddy at WrestleCream.com, hotjoe at WrestleCream.com if you prefer email. If you prefer social media, you can find me on Instagram as is that Sammy Daddy, or you can message the show at wrestle.cream on Instagram, or you can just comment on our YouTube videos, or maybe wherever you listen to podcasts. I don't really know how that works. I feel like you can comment on stuff, but you should rate us 5 stars or whatever else you're supposed to do. Slam the like button and turn the notifications on, and send us to 2 friends. And then I don't know what happens after that, because I only have 2 friends. Well, I have more friends now that I got to meet WrestleRugs and Dead or Alive, and I need all the friends I can get because my best friend Hot Joe is on his way to Portland, Oregon. And if let me check something real quick. Yes, that's me typing. According to my official Hot Joe tracker, it's the same. It's like you know, like the Santa tracker, where they show you where Santa is, or on Christmas Eve going into Christmas, and all the stuff. It's the same technology and all that, but it's not for Santa. It's for Hot Joe. That's why it's called Hot Joe tracker. According to the Hot Joe tracker, he is in Kansas at the world's largest ball of twine, which, looking at the map, is completely out of the way and direction of where he should be headed. I'm not sure if he's aware of that, or if it was just a big deal that they saw the world's largest ball of twine. I don't know. But yeah, I'll reach out to him in a couple days and see if he headed in the right direction. Or maybe he doesn't end up in Portland. Who knows? Tune in next week. He should be back. Unless he gets lost or doesn't, I don't know. Do they have Wi-Fi and internet in Portland? They're at war. Oh, anyway. See, it's tougher now because normally Hot Joe's here to stop the babbling, but then you're just going to get me babbling this whole time. But let's jump in to this bag of cues that is creamy. I'm just going to try to go in order. There was, as I said, 15 questions from about 4 people. So maybe we'll try to get, I would love more questions, but just, if you listen to the show and if we've ever given you a giggle or a sigh or a groan or any other onomatopoeia, just ask a question anytime. We'll write them down and then we'll save them and we'll do this. I don't know. If it catches on, we'll do it once a month. If it doesn't, we'll never do it. And if it's somewhere in the middle, then it'll be somewhere in the middle between once a month and never. But the first question is from somebody we all know and love here. Ronnie Two Legs, who last week was, I guess, with his wife at a taco place. I don't know. We might get an update later or something like that, but that whole situation still has me perplexed. But yeah, maybe we'll get some clear answers later. But the first question we got, and his first question is, what's wrong with lettuce? And I'll tell you what's wrong with lettuce. I'll answer for Hot Joe. Oh, I love lettuce. See, sounded just like him. I'm pretty good at the impersonations again. Hot Joe likes lettuce. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with lettuce. Is I've never eaten a burger or sandwich or salad or whatever else, I guess, that you would put lettuce on, and just to say it was a good meal, I really enjoyed it, and everyone went, wow, the lettuce was amazing. It doesn't take away necessarily from what you're eating, but it doesn't add to it. And most importantly, the one thing I left off that list of foods is tacos. And I don't want I want some meat and some cheese and other things that aren't lettuce. Too much lettuce could ruin it. Not enough lettuce just gets in the way. So it's not necessary. You don't need lettuce. That's what's wrong with lettuce, is what's it bringing to the party? Sure, it's there. It's not ruining it, but it's not adding to it. So just why? I can get rid of the lettuce and add more of something else I like. So I know when I go to Derek's Dripping Wet Tacos, I'm not even, there's no lettuce there anyway. It is BYOL, but I'm not BYOLing. I'm just getting into that, which actually leads us into Ronnie Two Legs' second question is, why are all of the tacos dripping wet? Number one, I don't even know how you know that, because I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to go there. That's not my rule. I'm just going off of what I've heard and seen, and we've all seen the ads or heard them. I don't agree or disagree with it. I'm just stuck in the middle with you. You know what I'm saying? So, but the tacos are dripping wet because they're dripping with deliciousness. Derek's Dripping Wet Tacos are dripping with deliciousness. And everybody knows that. And that's not even because they pay us to be a sponsor. That's just pure facts. I mean, I've never gone to a taco place that I wanted to go back to just like the next day. And then the next day. And then the next day. They have street tacos. But if that's not your thing, they got a brick and mortar. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, I mean, I'm assuming in sauces, you got to have sauces. And maybe, I guess the other reason tacos could be dripping wet is just from the people having a cartoonish amount of drool coming from their mouth at how savory those tacos are. But I guess, I mean, all of you can find out by going to Derek's Dripping Wet Tacos, except Ronnie Two Legs because he's banned, but he can, maybe no, whatever. The next question is from somebody I talked about earlier, WRESTLEWRUGS, the owner, chief proprietor. Is that a word? Matt. He says, Hot Joe and sammydaddy are about to start a national wrestling company. What 3 wrestlers on the independents are you signing first? So since, again, it's me by myself, I'm going to answer twice for this one. And I have 2 answers that are for different reasons. The first one I'm going to say is Derek Dillinger, Katie Arquette, and Wes Barkley. And the reason I picked those 3 is because they've been on this show. So if you want me to pick you for future answers to independent wrestling related questions, then you need to come on the show. And also, Katie Arquette, she's been in Ring of Honor, WWE, all over. One of the best women on the just one of the best wrestlers on the independents right now. And all she's going to do is bring in some respect and class to an organization that, if me and Hot Joe are starting, is going to need as much help as possible with people respecting it and thinking it's like a decent place. I pick Wes because that's he's going to be our John Cena. He's going to be our number one guy that goes out there and he shakes the babies and kisses the hands and lets everybody know, I'm going to fight for what's right. And Derek's going to be there because I figured we could get a deal with Derek Drippin' Wet Tacos and have them be like the caterer, and we can sell their food there and stuff. And also, he's a really good wrestler, and I like when he cheats to win. So there you go. My other answer is Vandal48. I don't know if you guys are all familiar with these guys, but it's Atticus Cogar, Otis Cogar, and Christian Napier. And I would start a national, our new national wrestling, independent wrestling company with those guys, because I think it would be like they're going to be at the top. They're bad guys. They're going to do their gang ways to win and stay on top. And I think it'd be fun to bring in a bunch of, good guy wrestlers to come in and try and fight them. And it's already built in. You have 3 of them in a group. So you could do some dream match 6-mans, some just regular tag teams, some one-on-ones. You can do the whole deal. So I don't see how that's not the perfect and only answer. And that's what I'm going with. So either of those. So either Vandal48 or Derek Dillinger, Katie Arquette, and Wes Barkley. Follow-up question from WrestleRugs is FMK, which, if you don't know, stands for Fuck, Marry, Kill. Not my words, his. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Bastion Booger, Golga, and the Goon. So he picked some real hard hitters there. That's going to make this one tough. I think I'm going to bounce around. I'm going to pick to marry Golga, because the way that Golga loves Cartman and holds him and cuddles against him and squeezes him and just shows that love for him, shows that he would be a good lover and he'd care for you. He'd cuddle you when you need it. He'll pick you up and he can party. So he's gonna, he's gonna be able to, the high highs and the low lows, he's gonna be there for all of them. For the F, I'm gonna pick the Goon, because he could probably beat it up. And then I'm gonna kill Bastion Booger because he's just gross. Like, I don't want to be like that, but come on. They picked, could anybody else be Bastion Booger? Because that dude's gross. And yeah, I'm killing him. Sorry. Clip that. Next, Eric, friend of the show, asked, is it too late to ask questions? Now, this is a tricky one, because at the time of you asking, is it too late to ask questions? It wasn't. But at the time of you hearing this and me answering, is it too late to ask questions? Yes, it is. So just to clarify, no before, yes now. But then after the show, technically you can ask more questions for the next time we do this. So I guess it's no, but yes. Eric's next question was, so I can still ask questions? Again, when you asked that, the answer was, or I guess, so I can still ask questions. So when you asked it, the answer was yes. But as you're hearing this, no, because this is already recorded and done. So, you can't. But you can ask questions after you listen to this for the next time we do this. But as of now, no. But yeah, you can. Eric's next question is, why is he called Sammy Daddy? The he in this is referring to me, Sammy Daddy.
Is that Sammy Daddy?
So I could try to come up with something funny, but I really couldn't. So it was just a cute name I came up with. So throughout my existence as a people, I've had different nicknames and stuff like that for it's almost like they lined up with different periods of my life and who I was at that time. And when I was a kid, my family and the close friends and the neighbors and the people that knew me when I was even before I was a hot teen boy, would call me Sammy. My name is, my shoot name is Samuel. So they would always call me Sammy. So it's kind of funny because anybody that met me later in life calls me Sam. And those people that knew me earlier in life call me Sammy. And then the daddy part is I've referred to my kids regularly. So I'm a dad or daddy, if you will. And I just thought it sounded cool. And I like how it flows. And it's the same amount of letters. And there's a lot of the same letters. And also I thought it was a good representation of the fact that we do this show when we talk about wrestling. Yeah, we watch wrestling now, and we'll probably always watch wrestling, but I think something about wrestling, even the people that are in wrestling that we're lucky enough to know, in whatever way, if you're making WrestleRugs, or if you're a fan, or if you do the audio, perverted or not, or if whatever, there's something about wrestling from when we were kids that really stuck with us and resonated, whatever it was, if it was the characters or the action or the excitement or shit back in the day, if it was just you liked looking at the girls because somehow we were allowed to watch that stuff. I thought the name Sammy Daddy was a good representation of where I was when I was a kid and the nostalgia for all this, and also Daddy because of where I'm at now, because that's like the number one coolest thing in the world for me, at least, that my kids are cool and I get to be a dad. So there you go. You got a real answer on this show. You weren't ready for that, were you? How about that? I could come up. Yeah, like I said, I tried to come up with something funny, and I was going to say something about Dusty Rhodes gave me the name, but I never met Dusty Rhodes. I don't think. I still do have this Ouija board, so maybe at the end of the episode I'll try to see what Dusty Rhodes thinks of my name. But we'll try that later. Another question from Eric, and this is obviously addressed to both me and Hot Joe. Will you do that 4 non-blondes thing everyone is doing? Well, it's going to be tougher now that Hot Joe is gone, and he's now the West Coast Creamer, and I'm the East Coast Creamer, I guess. I got to say, I can't, let's just say he didn't move and we were still here. I don't imagine we would have done it, but now that we're apart, I kind of want to do it to see how we would do it. And I'm going to do, I thought, like, what part would I do? Because anybody that's not familiar, it's the, what's the song called? What's going on? Hey, 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 I say hey. But it's that, and then it's mixed with Nicki Minaj's Bees in the Trap, I think. So I saw one, my favorite one I saw was Jay and Silent Bob did it. So that was cool. But so what I'll do now, if you're watching the YouTube one, we can, we'll edit this together, but Hot Joe probably won't do his half of it, but that's okay. I'll do the first part, and so the way it goes is the first person singing what's going on, and then the camera goes around them to the person standing back to back with them, and the person behind them does the Nicki Minaj part. So I'll do the 4 non-blondes part, and Hot Joe can do, since he's the hip-hop guy, he can do the Nicki Minaj part, because I think that's his favorite. I think he's on record as saying that's the greatest rapper of all time. I could be wrong.
I guess
maybe
that makes you a freaking pathological liar.
Sammy Daddy?
But here we go. I don't remember how the song goes. I wake up in the morning, I step outside, I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? So there, edit that. So then Sean can edit that in for when Hot Joe does his thing, if he can. I don't even know where Sean is. I know Hot Joe's going there, and then I don't know. Whatever. That's something we can figure out in the upcoming weeks.
It was a shoot.
But back to the start, but we're at the middle. Ronnie Two Legs, I think I can guess when he would have sent this question in. So it's actually a 3-parter. It's a 3-part question. So I'll read the whole question, then I'll break it down one by one. That's 3. Why do I continue to support the Cleveland Browns? Why can I not quit them? They're an utterly hopeless franchise, yet somehow I'm here year after year. Why, Sam, why? Wow. Let's get into this. Why do I continue to support the Cleveland Browns? Because we're stupid. Hot Joe's not really big on the sports that aren't wrestling, so I feel like I stick away from it. He doesn't care, so why would we bother talking about it? But since he's not here, let's talk about it. I do support the Cleveland Browns. I feel like that might even be too strong of a word. They're the team I root for, but they suck, and they've sucked my whole life. So I'm going to include myself in with this. You and me, you can be Ronnie Forelegs because my two are there as well. Why do I continue to support the Cleveland Browns? I don't know. There's no reason to. They've given us no reason to, and I don't know. We hope, I guess, wanting to be. There's something about maybe us thinking no, they're going to turn it around, and it's going to be so sweet when they do. And they've almost done it. I don't even want to say they've almost done it, but they've accidentally been good a couple times. So maybe I don't know. I don't have it. So what's the next part? Why can I not quit them? Because you're stupid like me, and you like the sports, and we've done it long enough now, rooting for this crappy team that why change? It seems like the easy way out to go root for somebody else that always wins. I wish I cared about another team more, because that would be better, but I don't know. And the last part was, they're an utterly hopeless franchise, yet somehow I'm here year after year. Why, Sam, why? I'd refer back to the last part of why can't you quit them, because we're stupid, and we just don't know any better, and they're never going to be better, and they're always going to be bad, and we should stop liking them and supporting them, but we're not going to, and that's fine. What else are you going to do on Sunday? Go to church? Come on. Next, back to WRESTLEWRUGS. Like I said, on Instagram, WRESTLEWRUGS. Reach out. It doesn't have to even be wrestling related. He can make a rug for you. Maybe we'll have him on the show soon. He can talk about rugs. Would you rather fight 2 Hornswoggle-sized King Kong Bundys or 1 King Kong Bundy-sized Hornswoggle? All right, we're going to do a little sidebar here. Those are actually 2 wrestlers that I've met in my life, which is kind of cool, I feel like. The first, I probably talked about it on here before, but I'm going to do it again because there's nobody to stop me. The first independent wrestling show I ever went to was at Gargano's Catering, downtown Cleveland, the city that we live in. I live in. Oh, see, now it's sad. The city that I live in. And it was, King Kong Bundy was the name that was there. And when we went in, he was sitting at a table, and my dad took me and my brother over there, and I have it somewhere. I'd have to look for it, but I have an autograph of King Kong Bundy, I think pinning Big John Studd or something like that. And also at intermission, you were able to get into the ring and get a Polaroid picture with him, which was awesome. And I still have that. I want to say that's still around here somewhere. I should still have that. But so King Kong Bundy always kind of has a special place in my heart, because he was the first wrestler I ever got to meet. So I don't know if that was the first. It wasn't the first show I ever went to, but it was the first independent show I went to, and it was cool. And it was at Gargano's. It's burned down in and I don't even remember how long now, a couple years now. But it was cool that I got to meet him, and he still to this day, I don't know, we'll say I was 10 years old. He's in my head, he's the largest man I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some large men, okay? So, yeah. So that's special. And then Hornswoggle has been more recently. It was at an AIW, or I guess actually it was twice. One time I just went to his table and got an autograph and got to talk to him for a little bit at an AIW show however many years ago. He's here regularly. And then another time was an after party of an AIW show. And he was nothing but cool, very nice, introduced himself, and he shook my hand. He said, "Hey man, what's your name?" And I said, "Sam, Sammydaddy." And he said, "Hey, I'm Dylan." And I said, "No, you're not. You're Hornswoggle." So that was really confusing to me. He must have been fucked up or something. Maybe hit his head when he was wrestling or something, because that's not his name. Is Anyway, back to the question. 2 Would I rather fight 2 Hornswoggle-sized King Kong Bundys or 1 King Kong Bundy-sized Hornswoggle? I think one Hornswoggle-sized Hornswoggle would beat me up. So I don't want to fight a King Kong Bundy-sized Hornswoggle because he would kill me. I think what makes sense to me is 2 Hornswoggle-sized King Kong Bundys because I feel like he's not going to move around very good, so I'm going to be able to like tire him out a little bit. Moving around, if you're watching YouTube, you probably can't even see me because of how fast I'm moving right now. And I think I could handle that. I'm like pretty like I'm like a weak guy, but I think I could handle that. Because he would be strong, I guess, still. No, 2 Hornswoggle-sized King Kong Bundys I could take. Because I feel like Hornswoggle can actually like legitimately like wrestle and do maneuvers and put you in holds. Yeah. That's what it is. Oh, my other new friend that I met, Johnny Arson. I'm pointing at you if you watch it, but you're listening. He asked, which cheese wins in an overall fight for the greatest? A battle royale with cheese. Well, that's tough. There's a lot of Gouda picks. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said? I could probably just hold that button down for like 3 minutes because you're going to be laughing that long. But just pause the show till you're done laughing, then come back. I'll wait. So, I don't like blue cheese. That's out. Cheddar cheese, American cheese, Swiss cheese, nacho cheese. My wife just made some like cheese dip. I don't know if that counts though. There's like stuff in it. I don't know, salsa and meats and whatnot. Oh man, of all the cheeses, like shredded cheese, but that's not a type of cheese. That's just a way that you can eat any kind of cheese. Colby Jack. Colby Jack cheese is the winner of this battle royal. Yep. Not goat cheese. I still don't understand who that's for. I thought it was a thing, but it's not a thing. I think I brought it up like a week or 2 ago, and it still bothers me. I'm up at night. And I'm recording this at 2:30 in the morning because I've been thinking about goat cheese for the last 4 hours. It's fucking wild. I don't get it. Like, where did they... What? Anyway, we're going to close this out with 4 more questions from Eric. My good friend. I hope to see you soon, Eric. His first question is, when will the floor close for questions? So, earlier we kind of talked about this on your other questions. So, the floor will close for questions right before we record, or I record, but in the future it'll be all right. The floor will close for questions when we record. So, like, when you asked that, the floor wasn't closed. But since I'm recording it right now, the floor is closed. But then after you listen to this, the floor will be open again for questions that we can answer on the next one. But when we're answering them on the next one, when we're recording, the floor will be closed. So, yes. The answer is yes. What does Oprah mean to you? I'm pointing, but he's asking me. What does Oprah mean to you, meaning me? Oprah, I thought it was funny that her production company is Harpo, because that's her name backwards. And Harpo's was a sports bar here that would do a lot of stuff with like the local wrestling, or there was always the thing like the WWE wrestlers would go there when they were in town when it was still open. And I played pool there a lot when I was younger. And they would always have the pay-per-views there. So what Oprah means to me is a local sports bar that is no longer open. And I think the owner was like a shitty dude. I never really knew him, but whatever. His next question is, are you on the Epstein email list? No, I unsubscribed. And his last question is, and the last question for this week's Creamy Bag of Q's, and don't forget, sammydaddy at WrestleCream.com, hotjoe at WrestleCream.com. If you want to email, is at sammydaddy or wrestle.cream on Instagram. Send your questions in for the next one. His last question is, have you ever, you know. Yep. No, I'm a gentleman, and a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell. But I've got laid before.
I'm the daddy.
I don't have as many buttons as Hot Joe, so you're stuck with this one. But that's for, we can't use that one. So, sorry. But that's it. We're closing up this bag of creamy cues, but I think it was a rousing success. Arousing? Arousing. And rousing? Arouse. It's time for the John Cena quote of the week. John Cena quote of the week. We evolve every day. Continue to be curious about who you are becoming. Keep the same curiosity for those relationships you hold dear. If you think you fully know someone, you might not be trying hard enough. And guess what? Same as last week, I'm keeping this thing on because my match count for the year 2025, the year of our lives, is 664 matches. Yeah, so I didn't really watch a lot. Like I said, I only watched Raw. And I don't care. I'm stuck on this John Cena thing. And this wasn't the greatest match of all time. It probably wasn't even the greatest match on the show. I don't remember. Probably Gunther and Javon Evans was probably the best match. But my favorite match was John Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio against the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. It was sad. It was John Cena's last Monday Night Raw match. I'm glad. I guess I didn't need to see him fight Sheamus or Rey Mysterio, but I'm glad that they got to be a part of this in some way. And I'm glad Finn Balor and JD McDonough got to be a part of this in some way. So, I don't know, it's just winding down, and it's just sad. He came out, and he had the special shirt on, and on the sleeve it said last Monday Night Raw or whatever. And it just bummed me out. It was fun. It was a good segment, and it set up the Survivor Series thing against Dominic Mysterio. And is he going to win that? Is he going to lose? I don't know. I don't think I care. It's just, I don't know, man. This John Cena thing's getting me. Hot Joe's favorite match was, he probably didn't even watch any wrestling because he's been so busy moving. His match of the week was, I'm going to guess it was, I can't come up with anything funny. So I'm going to say his match of the week was probably Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Yep, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes sense because we know how much he watches old WrestleManias. And those are probably two of his favorite competitors to compete at the competition. Oh. So we did that thing. We did the thing. We did the other thing. Then we did the thing. Then we did the other thing. So I guess that just leaves us at room for creams. And I do have a little sad news. I can't help but kind of have it taken personally a little bit. I don't want to, whatever. But both Hot Joe and Derek Dillinger's Room for Creams are on the road right now. So I can't play any videos or audio or just even say what they were. So I don't know what to do about that. But I guess maybe I'm hoping they double up next week maybe. But what are you going to do? People got to travel. People got to move. And I'm sure there was a commercial for the taco place earlier, probably, maybe. If not, we'll double up that next week, too. But we do have a room for cream for one Mr. Ronald Two Legs. And I'm going to play that right now, once I figure out how to do this.
Oh, God. Hey, boys.
Hey.
Oh, God. It's me, Ronald Two Legs.
Hi, Ronald.
Number one creamsman, all-time creamsman of all time. Best friend of the show.
Best friend of the show.
Bestest all-time friend of the show.
Jesus.
I can't even get a room for cream out this week.
Why?
Because I'm sick as hell.
Are you serious?
I've been throwing up since last week. Me and my wife went to this restaurant, and God, oh my God, I've just been sick ever since they went there.
What'd you eat?
I'm sorry I don't have a room for cream, but I've just been throwing up constantly
Oh my God.
from this terrible taco restaurant my wife and I ate at last week. So I'm not going to name any names or anything. I don't need any trouble like that. It is what it is. Probably was a coincidence. I doubt anyone my food. Never.
I don't know what you said, but it sounds gross.
Yeah. So thanks, boys. I'll see you next week. I guess just split because it's just Sammy Day.
It is.
No hot chilies on the road ski there.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah, hope it's going good.
Thanks.
Sammy Daddy, I'm sure it is. You're doing great, I'm sure. So, yep, have a good one.
All right, well, you too, buddy. Thanks. I mean, in your condition, I just appreciate you reaching out, I guess. I guess all I can say is maybe there's a reason. If what I think is true, then maybe you shouldn't have gone where you went. Maybe there was a reason. Or, to go back to the creamy bag of Q's first question, maybe it was just the lettuce. Maybe that's why you shouldn't eat lettuce. But thanks, Ronald. Can't wait to hear next week when you're feeling better. But that leaves, I guess the only thing left would be my room for cream. And normally I try to just, I try to keep it light. I mean, sometimes we bitch about stuff or complain or whatever, and that's fine. That room for cream means you can do whatever you want. And please send in your room for creams. I'm not going to say the emails and the Instagram again, because if you don't know by now, then why would you only listen to this part of the show and not earlier when I said it 10 times? But this one is going to be an actual, real one. So we can get in. Maybe if somebody asks the question, we'll get into how we actually started doing this together and all that kind of crap. But I'm not going to do it right now. But I think there's people listening to this that do a podcast or would like to do a podcast or want to, because I feel like everybody thinks it's a cool thing to do and they would be good at it. And it's actually true. If you can get on a show and make a good friend or do it with a family member or whatever, somebody you get along with, and whatever it's about and something you like, it's fun and it's fulfilling, even if 3 people listen to this, or 300 people, or 3,000 people, or numbers that don't even involve the number 3. It's just cool because you get to try and you get to make something. And I know it's cheesy and I never really buy into that stuff, but I just wanted to say to Hot Joe, thanks for letting me, not only trusting me to do the show on my own, which I'm not sure how it went, but we'll see the review and TV guide next week. But just letting me be a part of the show and getting to do this. And we're going to keep doing the show exactly as we have been. And hopefully it continues to improve and it gets better and we get guests and there's more people that listen and there's more people I get to meet and people can contribute. And this can be all of our show, and we all get to make this together, which I feel like we got to do this week with the questions and everything, or the dripping wet tacos and the room for creams and all that. But it's I kind of lost where I was going, but the general idea was that just thanks Hot Joe for letting me be part of this show. And I guess we only did it for a little bit together, but it was always fun getting to do it in person together. Me and Hot Joe have hit it off, and I think we do a real. This show isn't for everybody or anybody, depending on the week, I guess. But it's a show for, if you like it, I think you're really gonna like it, and if you don't get it, then that's fine too. But this thing's still on my hood. I forgot. Sorry, Johnny. John Cena might be retiring from WWE, but I'm keeping him alive on here. But yeah, so my room for cream is WrestleCream. Then, now, forever, Cream Gather. I gotta work on that. Then, now, forever, Cream Gather? Creamatorium? No. I'll work on that. But please don't hesitate. Comment. Let me know that the next time Hot Joe moves, how I can do this better in the comments or the email or the Instagram or the DMs or whatever. You'll find us if you want to. But I think what I'm supposed to say now is that's all the time we got, Creamers. Creamers. I love you. We love you. And we wish you the best. Hot Joe, you can come out now. The show's over.
Saturday night, man. I can feel the excitement, can't you? The excitement's just running through my veins, and I know, Dean Malenko, it's running through yours too. Because this Saturday night, it's 2 out of 3 falls. That's right, Daddy. And for this prize right here, the ECW Television World Championship. That's right. 2 out of 3 falls, Daddy. We are going to redefine ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling. Because we are taking it to the extreme wrestling-wise, Dean. You know it, and I know it. But there's something that bothers me, Dean, that I don't know. I think I know, but I'm not sure I know. Is who's the better man? See, I think I am the better man. But do I know it? I think I am. I'm not sure I am. But I still think I am. I think I am. I think I am.